Hello and welcome to Module 4. I wanted to just give a brief overview instead of having a written part in the lecture about my belief and where I come from and why the information that we're looking at in Module 4 is so critical. So one of the positions that I had before I moved into a director role was to be the special education strategist in a school that housed our behavior program. And one of the reasons I was hired is because they always had the students in a special school placement. And as we all know on the continuum of placement, that is one of the more restrictive environments. And so the goal of the school was to bring the environment and the restrictiveness down and basically have me include the students. So I worked with a lot of students verified on the autism spectrum in order to include them in classrooms across my career. And I wanted to share some of those elements with you because I think as you move forward, my hope is that any child that is able to be in a classroom and not in a special school setting will have the opportunities and be given the dignity of risk that all students get. And so as you explore Module 4, you're going to be learning about the model of parallel instruction. And the video for that I have a video recorded lecture. That video is a little bit longer, but it's really important because what I have found in that is that it offers the dignity of risk and it really surprises you on what our students can do and it takes them to new heights. And I think that was one of my favorite parts about being in the classroom and supporting students with significant behaviors is that they had that opportunity to exceed all expectations and that we held high expectations for them. And so you'll learn about that parallel instruction model, and we're not going to do an assignment with it, but I really want you to think about that model and think about how you could incorporate that into your teaching setting or your future teaching setting. You're also going to explore several curriculums. I want you to click on those links and really look at those. The biggest thing on those is that all of those have an evidence base to them. And so you're going to look at those and really work through the evidence base. I gave you a lot of the What Works Clearinghouse. It's an amazing resource for identifying evidence-based practices. I do know in Colorado that there are some lists that you do have to work from with those specific curriculums. If you have those specific curriculums, do explore those as well right now. A third thing you're going to be looking at is structured teaching. And when you're supporting students on the autism spectrum or students with significant disabilities, structured teaching and organizational text boxes are really important. And they are helpful in addition to paras. And you'll see that when we get to the lecture in the para unit in a couple of modules. And then the final thing that you're going to explore, and we hope to have a speaker on this summer, is assistive technology. Because one of the things that we have to remember is that when we are including students, we need to ensure that the classroom is universally designed to meet every learner's needs. And so we're not going to talk a great deal about universal design for learning. I have resources in here for you. One of the main reasons that I attach those resources in this course, in this module, is because then you're actually exploring that assistive technology and you're really coming to understand what you need to connect to. And they have a lot of really good ideas on multiple means of representation, multiple means of expression, and multiple means of engagement. And so we will have to have a lot of assistive technology. You will have a case study assignment that will connect your student to identifying and doing a set framework, which will identify the assistive technology components for that student. And so that's why you have that piece there. You will also find that there's a discussion in this module that talks about task analysis. And really one of the critical things for our learners to make sure they're included is it's not that they can't do the work, they may just need a task analysis done and they may need steps given for math. And that's where in the text that you have, you're going to explore how do you do a task analysis of a math problem? And you'll be sharing that in your discussion. And so you have those 4 key components that I've offered within this, but definitely start a discussion if there's something that you use as a professional or you want more questions about, bring them up at one of the discussions. We are going to probably do in one of our Zoom meetings, we probably will explore in one of the case studies of what curriculum would you guys attach to that? What curriculum would you recommend for that student? That was actually one of my specialty areas. I really believed in using diagnostics to identify the exact curriculum that a student needed for their processing components. And it's not any different in this area. And so we need to make sure that we're looking at all those components to identify if we can use parallel instruction to make sure that they're having high expectations. And then we can implement good, strong evidence-based curriculum, and that we put structured teaching and autism, the 27 evidence-based practices in autism into place. Remember, those are going to come in here as well. And then assistive technology components that we need so students have access. So that's module 4. Welcome to that. And I will keep this short and brief, and you guys can get to your work.